Well, good morning or good afternoon to everyone, depending on what part of the country you are calling in from. I want to welcome you to our Finance of America Wholesale Mortgage FHA expertise educating, marketing, and building your FHA business. My name is Ginger Bell, and as you're getting logged onto the webinar today, I'm actually going to post into the chat box all of the handouts that I have today, and there's a lot of things there. And so you can go and grab those there. And as we go along today, we will be able to, first of all, we're going to cover a lot of information today. And what we're going to talk about really is focused on your FHA business, but a lot of what I'm going to share you can utilize in virtually any part of your business, no matter what the program is, no matter what it is that you want to train on. So our focus today is providing you with the tools and resources to be able to build your own Edgy Marketing system. And so as we're getting started, I want to check for sound and make sure that you all can hear me. So if you can just type in either the Q&A panel or the chat box and let me know what part of the country you're calling in from. I am back home, was in Denver Monday, Tuesday. I am back home in Portland, and it's warm here today. So I'm looking for all of you to type something in there and let me know that you all can hear me. So you can either put it in your Q&A box or in your chat box. And if you're listening to the webinar, you can listen by phone or on your computer. And here's an example. I see a lot of you. Okay, good. Thank you. Northern Kentucky, Dustin, awesome. New Jersey, glad to have you attending. And from Florida, very good. Nellie, yes, I remember meeting you. So thanks for attending. So now I know you can hear me, which is great. As I said, I put a lot of content up there for you. If you don't want to grab it from the chat box, and I'm going to post it up there again, because sometimes when you log in, it doesn't show up until after you log in. But I'm also going to send out a follow-up email tomorrow. It comes out through the Zoom webinar platform, so you'll get that from me. I'll have all these links. I'm also recording this webinar, so you can go back and listen to it, and that will come to you tomorrow. And then, of course, for those of you who are joining who are Finance of America brokers and non-delegated correspondents, we will have all material available at the FAM University. So with that, let's get started. I'll take a moment and introduce myself to you. My name is Ginger Bell. I'm an education specialist in the mortgage industry. My company is Go-To Training. Finance of America Wholesale Mortgage is one of my clients, and I do a lot of webinars and training with them. And so what I'm going to be sharing with you today is just a very brief overview of FHA, but really getting into what you can do in order to take your expertise as a loan originator and build some education programs. And I know getting out with your realtors, educating your borrowers is so important right now. And I've done a lot of that in my business. I've actually, before getting into the mortgage industry some 20 odd years ago, I was a corporate trainer with Dale Carnegie Training. And because of my training background, I've had an opportunity to write a couple of books with some well-known speakers and trainers. One was Brian Tracy, and I've written 2 books with him. And then in August, I have my new book coming out with Jack Canfield. And some of you may know Jack from the Chicken Soup for the Soul. He's also written The Power of Focus and several other books. But what I've written about in this book with Jack is building an edge marketing platform and how to use your expertise to position yourself as an expert in your field. So that's what we're going to focus on today. In this webinar, we're going to cover the benefits of the FHA loan, FHA highlights, and at very high level. So we're going to be flying at like 30,000 feet. We're not going to get into the nitty-gritty of FHA, but what I am going to give you is an overview on how to really go out and educate your realtors on FHA. I've included in our handout an open PowerPoint slide deck that you can actually go in, put your logo, put your information in there, use that for realtor presentations that you're doing. I've included some marketing tools, and then I'm also going to cover how to create some educational videos to use on social media, to use maybe in your own online university if you want to do something like that, to educate your borrowers as well as your agents. So let's get started with FHA. How many of you, and just type in there if you've done FHA. I mean, everybody's done FHA. You may be an expert at it. You may occasionally do it. But really the benefits of FHA is low down payment, 3.5%. All the funds can be from a gift, which is great, especially for our first-time home buyers. The seller can pay up to 6% toward all closing costs. It does allow for non-occupant co-borrowers. And then by using that, you can actually use a true blended ratios for those who may be challenged as far as qualifying. That's another great benefit. There are no cash reserve requirements for your 1 to 2 unit properties. And there's also a tendency to be more lenient for credit. So BKs 2 years out, foreclosures 3 years out, short sales 3 years out. On the FHA guidelines, it is for primary residence only. It is for 1 to 4 units, but one of those units obviously needs to be owner occupied. You can go down to a 580 minimum credit score, and this is under the FAM FHA Plus. It is not available on all products. You want to check with your FAM account executive for the qualification standards for that. Is available on high balance. So for those of you who are in those areas that you have your high balance loans, FHA works on that. FHA does limit the borrowers to one FHA loan at a time, but there are some exceptions. And I always like to know these little hidden gems, so it can be very helpful when you're trying to qualify someone, because FHA can allow for some exceptions if the borrower is relocating a reasonable distance away. And I know I was in Denver yesterday with Remax and talking to a couple of realtors who had that. They were from Houston, and they had people that were relocating in from another area. And so FHA may allow that. If there's a family size, it's either increasing or decreasing. There can be exceptions on that. If they're vacating a jointly owned property, say through a divorce, and also for a non-occupant co-borrower. So say the mom and dad have an FHA loan. They want to be a non-occupant co-borrower on their child's loan, then that can be allowed. So it's important to know those things. So those are the basic guidelines for FHA. Now let's look at how you can utilize this to be able to educate and build trust. JD Powers does a survey every year, and they survey a group of individuals across the country who have received a mortgage for the year. And so what they noted in their 2017 report was the great equalizer in the mortgage business is achieving that balance between the convenience, the recognition, the advice, the trust, and the value. And that's where you come in, especially if you're an independent. You serve your community, you're local in the area, you know what's going on. And so really the world we live in right now is to be able to take your expertise and your ability to have those conversations with your borrowers and combine that with the new technology. We're seeing so many things out there. Quicken has the Rocket Mortgage. You may have something, and there's a lot of new technology that's coming out where you can do an online application. And so it's combining that, though, because we all know, and let me know if you take online applications. Just type in the Q&A or the chat box if you are taking online applications. And that's a convenient way to be able to start the conversation, but that is not the complete conversation. There's so much more that goes in to being able to get a mortgage, and we know that. And so it's a matter of being able to combine what we have with technology and still be able to build the relationship. And a lot of it begins with being able to set that very first presence, and that's letting people know that you are out there and that you specialize in what you do. And a lot of that comes through social media. And so you may be using social media at all. And let me know if you are. Type in the chat box or the Q&A box and let me know what forms you're using for social media for marketing yourself right now. Are you using Facebook? Are you using YouTube? Are you using LinkedIn? What are some of the forms that you are using? Just type in there right now and let me know that what you're using. That helps me to kind of gauge what I'm doing. It also lets me know that you all can still hear me. So if you can take a quick second and type in there, let me know what you're using right now. If it's Facebook for any of your marketing, or if you're not using anything at all, just type in not using it right now, Ginger. So I'm not really sure what I need to do. That's why I'm attending this. And that's completely fine too. So let's talk about that. and social media forums that you can do. So Dustin, thank you, using Facebook and Twitter. And some people are actually using Snapchat. I know I do a lot of training in the real estate industry for realtors, and amazingly enough, they use Snapchat. I still haven't figured that out. It's something my son has tried to teach me that, but I can't. But a lot of what we're seeing is just that, Facebook and Twitter, LinkedIn, especially for your real estate agents. And Nellie, you're using Alignable. Very good. And you have an online link for them to apply. So that's great. I have not used Alignable, but that is a great recommendation. So I'll have to find out how you're using them. But when you look at your social media, and they call these micro blogging sites, that's your Facebook, your Google Plus, your Twitter. There's also various forums that you might be able to be on, or blogs. Another great social media form to use can come with customer review websites and bulletin boards like Yelp. You can also use photo and video sites like your Flickr, your YouTube, your Instagram, and then obviously our sites that enable our professional networking, which is more for your real estate agents, and that is on LinkedIn. So if you're not using social media right now, it is a great way to be able to start building those conversations and educating. One of the things I advise when using social media is don't just post something out there, hey, just closed another loan, or I just, sold another house. Really what people are looking for on social media are stories. And so I'm going to give you some recommendations on how to use, especially some videos, to be able to build some great ways to be able to not just have you do social media, but have your customers use social media to help build that. So the other thing that I like to use is customer testimonials. And so there's lots of sites you can do this on. I love Google. And so I think Google is great because it's what people go to when they're searching. And so if you're not using it right now, I really recommend using it. So Google uses what they call Google Business Reviews. And it's really essential for everything you're doing for SEO. So your business reviews come from your clients. You can also get them from your real estate agents. And it really is one of the most powerful ways of promoting and building trust and confidence in your business. People will trust the recommendation of a stranger over what they will trust as far as a friend. And so reviews that you get, people are looking at them. They're looking at that for purchasing decisions. And you think about how you shop online. I shop on Amazon a lot, and that's one of the things that I always go and look at. What are the reviews? What are people saying? Reviews really do matter. And so if you're not using this, I would really recommend doing it. It's simple to set up. It's called a Google Business Page. And really, it's an updated version of what used to be Google Places for Business. And so what they've done is integrated this Google Plus platform into your website. And then Google has allowed companies to basically manage their business and the information that appears. And it shows up in searches, and it shows up locally. So if someone is searching for a business in your area, then, and if you don't have this, then you're not going to show up at all. So let me know just by show of hands, if you want to raise your hand, or if you want to type in there, how many of you are using your Google business page right now for your review? And if you're not, I'm going to give you some quick steps as far as how to set it up. But basically what Google does is they have what they call the local pack. And so when someone goes to search online, say for a mortgage, I'm in Portland, Oregon, so they search for mortgage, Portland, Oregon. Then what usually comes up first are the ads, and you can buy Google ads and you can put limits on how much you're using for that, and that's another great way to be able to get online people to find you. But really the best way, and it's free, is to set up your Google reviews. And so when someone searches, then you show up in that pack. So not only do the reviews help you with your click-through rate, but they can also help your business appear in what they call the local pack in the first place. And I'll give you an example of what that looks like. So I put in my search, real estate broker, Portland, Oregon, where I'm at. And when I did this search, you can see right here, the ad comes up first. And so this is topagentsrank.com, and they paid for an ad. So they show up first. And then the next thing that shows up below that is what they call the local pack. And these are all based, this is only based on Google reviews. That is all they're looking at. So if you're not using reviews at all, you should use reviews in your business. So here we see what comes up first when I look for a real estate agent is Coldwell Banker, and they come up first, and then the next is Hillary, and then Stephen. And so we look at that, and they all have a 5-star rating, but this shows how many reviews. So this number right here shows the reviews. And then they can link and go to the website and be able to contact you, get directions. All your information is here. What's interesting on this is Coldwell Banker shows up first, but they only have 3 reviews. And you look at Stephen down here, he shows up third. He has 12 reviews. So if you're thinking logically on this, you would think that Stephen would show up higher than what Coldwell Banker does. But the reason he doesn't is Coldwell Banker had a review that was more recent. It was a week ago. Where you look at Stephen, and it's been 9 months since he's had a review. So when you're implementing Google reviews into your business, you want to make sure that when you're closing a loan, you get the link and you send your customer the link so that they can give you a review, because that's going to keep you current and that's going to be keeping you top of mind. Reviews are very important and very powerful in what you're doing to build your business. And you can use this in a lot of education too, because you can combine that in with your presentations. If you're doing a realtor presentation, you can show them on your PowerPoint and say, you know, this is what Sally said and this is what Sam said. And so you can actually integrate that into what you're doing. There are a lot of different sites that you can use. Google has the best, in my opinion. There's a ton of information. It's free. And then once you set it up, then you just need to send that link out in order to be able to get reviews. So that's one of the first things that you can do. The other thing I recommend doing is making personal phone calls. Now, this is important when you're looking at building your business and combining this in with what I call your Edgy Marketing plan. And so you want to think about, how are you currently communicating with your customers and your prospects? How many of you are doing email? How many of you are doing mail campaigns? Some of you may even be doing texting. This is a thing that's important for your millennials, is they want texting, and there's some platforms you can do as far as marketing for texting. And then phone calls, as well as in person. So these are the different ways that you are communicating or should be communicating with your customers, your prospects, your real estate agents, and to be able to set that up on a continuing basis and to remind yourself to do that, to get in the habit of doing that. The reason why is because sometimes we become reliant on email. And the reality is, email is not as effective today as it used to. And you think about how many emails you get. And according to these recent surveys from a couple of different sites, they're saying only 23.9% of all sales emails are actually opened. And the average person deletes almost half of the emails they receive each and every day, and it only takes them 5 minutes to do it. So when you're putting together an email, first of all, you want it to be short, and that's some of the things that I talk about in the Edgy Marketing, especially if you're making an Edgy Marketing email course talking about how to save money for buying a home, or what the whole process is as far as getting a loan. Because the vast majority of their prospects, they want to read emails quickly, and they do it early in the morning. So you want to think about that when you're sending your emails out as well. You want to get it to them when they are reading that, and that is actually early in the morning. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays are the best days to send your email campaigns. So if you're looking to put together an email campaign, then those are the things that you want to do. The other thing you want to do is you want to think about following up with them. And ask yourself, honestly, how often are you actually talking with your customers and your prospects? You all have a database of previous clients. When was the last time you picked up the phone and called them? And there's lots of reasons to call them. You may find an article You may, see a great restaurant in their area. I mean, there's all kinds of reasons. It could be their birthday. It could just be, hey, you know what? School's coming back in session. Just was thinking about you. So think about all the different reasons that you can call someone, but pull out your prospect list. Pull out your past client list and think about what you can do as far as just making 5 phone calls a day. The reason why is because we cannot hide behind email. The business relationships that you are building are really formed in 2 ways, and we know this: in person or over the phone. And so, what I want you to think about is all the reasons to call your existing clients. It could be if they're in the middle of a loan right now, or maybe they were looking at a home a while back, find out where they are, check in. How are they doing? How are we doing? Just call and say, hey, I just wanted to call and touch base with you. We did a loan for you a year ago and just wanted to follow up. How are you doing? Are you looking at moving? Are you looking at remodeling? There's some great 203K programs you can do. What can we provide for you? Maybe there's a change or a new program that's coming out, and I know we're coming out. Finance of America has a new program that's coming out. I'm going to do a webinar in August, so you may want to call them and let them know, hey, there's a great loan program available I wanted to let you know about. Have you thought about buying an investment property? Maybe there's an event. Maybe you're doing a first-time homebuyer program or an event, and they have kids, or their kids just graduated, or they have a kid getting married, and say, hey, I just want to let you know I'm doing this. Maybe you can do a webinar. Maybe there's a trade show that's coming up that then may be good for a real estate agent to go through with you. Industry news, great news, anything. There's lots of reasons to call people. And so what I recommend is to have your top 30 to 40 list. And these can be your top real estate agents, whether you're getting business from them or you want to get business from them, and have that list ready for you to call. If you're driving, you can do a quick call, use your headset and, be legal in your area, all those things. But let them know about maybe a new program that's available, a change, if there's a new product, and systemize it. I am very much a system person. And so if you do this and you get a list of your top 30 to 40 real estate agents and say, okay, so those with the last name of A through H, I'm going to call the first week of the month. Those with the last name of I through P, the second week, and then Q through Z, the third week. And get yourself disciplined to doing that, because the discipline is really what it takes. And you can make a log for it. You can say, okay, how many outbound calls are you making per week? Don't count the calls that you're returning, only the new calls. How many clients' names and numbers do you currently have in your database that you're actively making outbound calls to? Where's your list? How are you organizing that? And are you tracking the outbound calls that you make? By measuring those, then you start seeing results, and make a game out of it. Challenge yourself. Say, you know what? Ginger, you're right. I have not been making phone calls for a while. So I'm going to get my list out and I'm going to, make it a habit of make 5 calls a day. And, give yourself a little reward at the end of the day when you do that, or at the end of the week, because otherwise your day gets away with you. And if you have that accountability, then you're more likely to use it. Okay, so let's talk about technologies to simplify your business. Now, how many of you have a CRM system? Let me know. Yes, no, don't know what a CRM system is. Type in the chat box or type in the Q&A and let me know if you're currently using a CRM system. So a CRM system is a customer relationship management system. And it could be an Infusionsoft, it could be Salesforce. It could be a Constant Contact. I like Infusionsoft. And I have put several of my clients onto Infusionsoft. And the reason I do is because they have a set it and forget it. And so you can build a campaign, and no matter when somebody comes into that campaign, so you build a real estate agent, FHA home guides or building first-time home buyers. and you meet a new agent and you put them into the campaign, they start at number 1 and then they go all the way through here. Tomorrow, if you meet someone else and you put them into that campaign, and it's all done through tags, it's very simple, they start and go through the whole same thing. So it's not like a constant contact if you use something like that, or MailChimp, where you're like, oh yeah, I need to send out an email, and then everybody gets the same email. This one goes out to where no matter when they start, they go through a series. And you can see in this campaign that you get the first person in there, and this is for a new app that I created for a client in Austin that uses Infusionsoft. And so as soon as they get a new application, then this is sent out, and then wait a week, creates a task, sends you a reminder so you remember to call them, and then a second email goes out. And so you can create this that not only is it communicating with you, but it's sending you reminders to say, hey, Sam filled out an application. You need to call and follow up with him. And I can tell you that the clients that I have put this on have doubled their business without doubling their sales force. And it's all because it becomes a set it and forget it. So if you're not using something like this, this is a great thing to use. You can also put all of your letters in there. You can have all your contacts in there. I mean, it's just a great organizer. So if you don't have something like this, this is one to definitely look at. And if you're interested, shoot me an email and let me know, and I can get you some information on it. The other thing I recommend is automate your scheduling. So if you are in a regular basis setting up schedules, why not put a calendar link that you can send to someone where they can go on, look at your calendar, and set an appointment? I like to do this because I hate the webinar or the emails that go back and forth. It's like, when are you available? Oh, on Tuesday. What time on Tuesday? Well, I don't know, 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock doesn't work for me. How about 4 o'clock? If you have a calendar, you make yourself available and say, let's schedule a meeting. I'm going to send you my calendar. You pick a time. And then I like schedule once. It's very affordable, and it takes over from there. It sends a reminder to them. It gets put on their calendar. It gets put on your calendar. It sends a follow-up to them afterwards. And so, again, it just automates things. And so when you're looking at your time, those are things that you want to be able to do, because the more you can automate what you're doing, then the more time you're going to have to go out and actually build your business and do the sales activities that's going to bring you business. The more time you spend on trying to figure out who's in your pipeline, or who's in your database, or writing up an email and not having it automated, then you're taking time away that's valuable for you to go out and build your business and other business building activities. And you can assign someone to do this. So if you don't want to do it, you have an assistant, or if you have a processor, you can teach them how to do it. It's very simple. So let's talk about edgy marketing. Now, I came up with the term edgy marketing several years ago because that's really what I do. I'm an education specialist, but I help companies develop education programs to position themselves as experts in their field. I started doing it a long time ago with all the regulations, and we know we had a ton of those that happened after 2008, and also through program guides. And so I've also learned by using my expertise, and especially writing 2 books, to be able to really become an expert on mastering the art of edgy marketing. And so the book I wrote was Success Today. My chapter was in there, was actually building a mentorship program in Success Today, but Success Breakthroughs, it's mastering the art of edgy marketing. So I give guides and ideas and things like that to be able to build your expertise. And that's what you want to do. There's lots of ways that you can do that. The first thing you can do is to create videos. And you don't have to be terrified about videos. It's really not that hard to create videos. There's technology out there with Camtasia, Powtoons, Bom Bom, to be able to easily do videos. And if it's something you don't want to do, hire an intern to do that. I have 3 different interns that do videos for me, and it's great because often I learn a lot from them. They're all in college. They do it part-time. It's a great opportunity for them to be able to work around their schedule. And then I just record what I want, and then they go and do the editing, place it on YouTube, place it on a university, whatever it is. So it makes it very easy and manageable. When you create videos, and I recommend, and I go through this, so that list of information that I sent you, I go through a lot of the delivery channels in there, so you can read through it more because we don't have time to cover everything right now. But when you do a video, then you want to make sure when you're creating those videos that you have a relevant topic, so something and obviously relates to your audience. So you could do a first-time home buyer video, and you can break it into a series as far as, are you ready to buy a home? Millennials buying home. How much do you need for a down payment? What do you need to think about? What are the loan programs available? And what's the difference between renting versus buying? I mean, there's so many topics you can do. You could do local interviews. And think about if you start like a YouTube channel or a podcast channel, or if you do an online radio show, or even if you go and you do a local cable show, and you call a real estate agent and say, "Hey, I'm recording for my next podcast session on condos, buying condos in Portland, Oregon, and I'd like to interview a local real estate agent on my podcast." How do you think that conversation is going to go compared to just calling them and saying, "Hey, you have anyone buying a home?" So it builds up that credibility, and it positions you as an expert to be able to do that. So look to your partners to be able to utilize them. 203K, I think it's a program that is completely underutilized. We've been doing a lot of education on it lately because whether you do them or not, I don't really care. But what I want you to do is use it as a way to be able to build your business. And so, if you go into a builder, or if you go into a kitchen remodeler, a bathroom remodeler, a remodeler, or someone that does roofs, and you say, "Hey, I'd like to do a video interview on what are the top trends today in remodeling a kitchen." And you go and you do a video, or you do a podcast, or you do an just an online interview, or you write an article, and they share it with their database and you share it with your database. Now you're building your database. And that's really the whole goal in building what you're doing with Edgy Marketing, is to build your database. Now, another video platform that I like a lot is called Bom Bom Video. And so Bom Bom Video is a simple platform where you can use just your phone, you can record a video on your computer, and you send a video message out to either an individual or a group that is just you talking. Or if you want to make an explainer video, you can do something like that. But video stands out, and that's the whole idea. The thing I also like about Bom Bom, it is sent by a text. You can send it by email, but it's usually sent by a text is the most effective, and people pay attention to text. And so when you're looking at video, on video as a whole, if you're sending out an email, 81% get more replies with the videos. 68% convert more to leads, and 56 are more likely to refer it on to someone else. So as scary as it is to think about doing videos, and I hated it. When I first started getting into videos years ago, I'm like, I hate the way I look at camera, and I hate the way I sound. And you know what, guys, you just have to get over it. That's you, surprisingly enough. And I had someone tell me that one time, and I finally said, okay, it is what it is. And so now I use a lot of video. So the next thing you can do is to create an online university. Now, this is a bigger step, but I can tell you guys, there are not many, if any, originators out there that are creating their own online university for their real estate agents, for their customers, for their prospects, that provides education. And people are looking for information. J.D. Powers, like I said, does a survey every year, and every single year out of that survey, it says millennials say the number one thing: nobody explained the process to us. and they're looking for that information. They're searching for that information. So if you create an online university, and there's some great programs to do that, which I'll share with you, then you can take the videos you're creating, or even if you're just doing a PowerPoint, and you can put that in an online university. The nice thing with that is it's just you. So it's not like YouTube where everybody's there. It's just you. And it truly positions you as an expert. That's what I've done for Finance of America. That's what I've done for First Funding. That's what I've done for a lot of companies that I work with, is to create an online university. So when you're looking at creating that and doing the videos and what you're talking about, we need to change what we're doing, especially when you're looking at social media. If you're putting a post out there saying, hey, we just closed another loan, or hey, another happy customer, we need to stop interrupting what people love, and that's being on social media, and we need to become what people love. And we do that by building stories. So you want to make your content into micro stories so that each post that you do is another installment of the story. And so you make it in smaller bits. The reason why is then, and whether you're doing this to where you're creating it on YouTube, or you're creating it on social media, or in your online university, what builds is the anticipation of the next episode. And the other thing I love about this is then you don't have to do everything all at once. And the thing you want to think about too when you're creating a story is the story hinges on detail. So what is the pain? How do you solve the pain? For a story to be effective, you need to have tension and conflict. And a story solves these things. So let's talk about what that looks like. You have buyers that you're meeting with all the time, and you probably have a fair amount of purchase business because most everybody does right now, right? And so when you're sitting down with that borrower for the first time, why not invest in a video that you have in your office, have a disclosure that they sign, ask their permission, and say, you know, what I'd like to do is to create your story in your video. How many of you watch the HGTV shows? I watch them all the time. They're one of my favorite things to fall asleep through, especially the ones where they're looking for homes internationally. But it all has a story. What are they looking for? What's important to you? And you think about if you let your borrowers know, hey, I would like to create a video of you buying your first home. Is that okay? Yes. Have them sign the disclosure. And then you videotape the interview and you have a series of questions. What are you looking for? What's important to you? Why haven't you bought so far? How long have you been renting? What kind of home are you looking for? And you take that first segment and then you release that into social media and you say, and you share it with them because now they're likely to share it. And then the next step, okay, maybe you talk to, and again, work with your real estate agent. Say, you know what? I'm creating a video series for Sue and John Brown. And I would like to be able to go out with them when they're looking at homes, or you can videotape. And now they're out looking at homes, and you add that. And that's the next part of the story. And then they get their home and they move into their home. So you videotape them walking into their home. And then you hold a housewarming party for them, which is a great thing to do. And that's a whole nother thing as far as being able to build your database. Hold a housewarming party. Tell them that you'll create the invite for them, and you just need to send the invite to them. They have people register. You show up at the housewarming party. Who do you think they're going to talk to? So when you get all of these little parts of their story put together, then you create one video for them at the end, and you put some nice music on it. You put your logo on it, and you send that to them as a gift, a closing gift. And what do you think they're going to do? They're going to share that. They're going to share it with people they know. They're going to share it on social media. So now it becomes that story. And it's a very powerful way. We've done this in a lot of areas, and it's been very powerful to change that and to involve your customers in the process. So great recommendation. You can take it, you can put it onto YouTube. When you're thinking about YouTube, whether you do that story or if you do, any kind of a video, you want to keep your content short and then you want to push the information out over a period of time. So don't make a great big long buying your first home and it's a 45-minute webinar. Make it into smaller chunks. And I often don't do that. Even if I do a 45-minute webinar, I'll try and break it into smaller chunks. So let's talk about educational platforms. So a couple of different things you can use. Evergreen Business System. Very affordable. I think it's like $800 a year. And it allows you to put up content, videos, you can put up downloads, PDFs, and it even has testing now, which it didn't have before. So that is a great platform to be able to use. You can either put content out there where they don't register, or you can create your own community where they register for it. LearnDash. LearnDash is a WordPress plugin. If you have a WordPress website, then the LearnDash plugin is a great plugin. It's, again, very affordable. If you're not familiar with WordPress, you're probably going to want to get a developer to develop the site. But again, it's pretty affordable. Kajabi is another site that I love. A lot of your training coaches use this and allows you to put information in there. And then the one that I love right now for building a social community is called Tavuti. And you can have online universities, you can create live events, you can actually build a directory from there. So if you wanted to specialize in something like 203K, you could actually take people in your area, like home remodelers, real estate agents. You could put, kitchen remodelers, bathroom remodelers, roofers, and build your own directory in there. So those are my recommendations for your online educational platforms. The Evergreen Business System, which provides for the automated webinars, the LearnDash, which is a WordPress plugin, Kajabi, and Tavuti. Let's talk about recommended video software. So Camtasia, if you have a PC, is very simple to use, doesn't take long to learn, and it's a video editing software. So you can record videos on it, you can record from your computer, and be able to edit. So if you make a mistake, because I know when I first started doing it, it's like, oh, I'm listening to it, I said too many times, or I didn't like that. You can actually go and edit it. You can add your logos in there. You can add pictures in there. You can add music in there. Very professional video editing software. Bom Bom I talked about, that's the video email. So it actually, I think you can do some editing in there, but really it's just hey, this is Ginger and, Dustin, I wanted to send you a quick email on some top 3 things that I know about Facebook. I know you use Facebook and Twitter a lot, so here's the top 3 things, pointers to help you out today. And you can just make a quick little video. Powtoons is animated videos. So if you've seen the videos where somebody is like writing with their hand, or there's cartoons and they're moving along or having a conversation, Powtoons has made it affordable. It's like $600 a year, and they have these templates. It's a drag and drop, and you can make an animated video. I use that a lot for my clients, and you can record your audio, and then you can put your audio in there of your voice, and then you can put the animation to it, and it's super cool. And I tell you what, you want to do something, put something cool on your website, Powtoons is great and super simple to use. So I'm going to leave you with one last thing as far as technology. It's a new technology, and I don't know a lot about it yet. I'm attending a conference in September, so I'm going to learn some more, but it's called Connected TV. And so we're seeing, again, a shift in technology where people are actually using channels to watch TV. And so you think about your Amazon Fire TV, your Samsung Smart TV, and Roku is another one. Apple TV is another one. So people are actually going and creating a channel. And I have a friend who just started doing this. And so he has brought someone into the studio, done a series of videos, and then we've created a channel for them, and now they're posting it on that. And so you can share it with your clients that you have your own channel on TV. And again, you guys are looking for ways to what? Stand out with real estate agents, right? So what better way than to create a channel on TV for real estate agents? and talk to them about, loan programs or qualification or what the process is and, those kind of things, and say, hey, I want to invite you to my TV channel. And so it's just an incredible way to stand out. As I find out more about this, and as I said, I'm attending a conference in September on it, then I'll be sharing that information with you as well. Is that something that's interesting to you? Let me know. Raise your hand, type in the chat box, say, yes, Ginger, I'd like to know more, or you're scaring me. There's no way I could ever do a TV channel. Those kind of things. So think about those things, and thank you for raising. Okay, you guys are raising your hands, so that's good to know. What I'll do is maybe in October when I get back from the conference, and I'll put together some information, and we'll do maybe just a little focus group to kind of get started on that. So let me know if that would be interesting to you, because that way you can learn as I'm learning, and I like to do those kind of things as well. So at the end of the day, what you want to do in building an Edgy Marketing program is to be able to raise your profile. And so what I challenge all of you to do, because I do this too. It's like I attend a webinar, I go to a conference, like, oh, that's such a great idea, and I'm going to do that. And then what happens? We get back into what we're doing normally. And so what I do, and I was stuck in the airport on a delay yesterday, and so I've got to do handouts, which a lot of the handouts I'm sharing with you, the Edgy Marketing handouts, are the handouts that my publisher is actually sending out with my book that's coming out. And so you're getting a sneak peek at that. And so I spent my afternoon creating those. Because that's a part of my business that I need in order to elevate my business. That's what I want you to do with yours. So think about 3 things. Grab a piece of paper, write down right now, what are 3 things that you could do, whether it's daily, weekly, monthly, that would raise your profile, whether it be in your community, to raise your profile in your community, to raise your profile with real estate agents, or maybe there's a particular office. As I said, I was at RE/MAX yesterday, and so it's a great opportunity to be able to think about, what you're dealing to meet with real estate agents, because they're looking for information. They want to know about loan programs, and they don't. And they loved hearing it. They love learning those things. So what are the things that you can do? Maybe it is doing a radio show. Maybe it's an online video. Maybe it's creating an online course. Maybe you say, hey, I want to do a cable show. There's lots of local TV cable shows you can do. Maybe it's just creating a personal blog, which is a great start. Maybe you want to do a shared blog where you're going to work with a real estate agent, or writing a newspaper article. Your local newspapers, which have really taken over for a lot of what's happening with newspapers these days, but your local newspapers are looking for articles. So maybe you can talk about trends you're seeing in your neighborhoods. Maybe it's putting together a speaking event and talking to your local real estate agent and say, hey, I'd like to come in and, talk to you about some recent updates that are happening with FHA. I know the California Association of Realtors has me come out every year, and I do an annual update for them. And so they need to hear about what's happening in the industry. They want to hear about what's happening in the industry. Maybe you could write a marketing article. Some of the things that we've learned today, maybe you can share that information with your real estate agents. And so make a commitment to say, okay, I'm going to do one of these first, and then I'm going to choose the second one, and then choose the third one. So think about how you can find potential clients or referral sources, and go look for those events. And it doesn't have to be real estate events. You have businesses in your area that would love to have someone like you come in and do a lunch and learn. When was the last time you called a business in your area and said, hey, can I come in and talk to your employees about the VA home loan? Or talk about buying their first home, or talk about upsizing, downsizing, right side. I mean, whatever it is, buying a condo. There's so many things that you all know about, and it's a matter of leveraging that expertise. Look for different publications as well. There are a lot of publications that you can write for to be able to build your expertise and attend conferences. And I'm not just talking about conferences in our industry, I'm talking about other conferences. You think about, is there a tech conference going on that you could go attend? How many people could you meet there? Could you meet someone that's in an HR department? What activities can you be involved with? These are the kind of things to get outside the norm, to think outside the box on the things that you can do. You can create a mastermind group, and I love doing mastermind groups. I've done this a lot across the country where we just have roundtable discussions. And you share ideas, you share referrals, you build your network, and you can actually find some mastermind groups to go through. There's one at masterminds.meetup.com. See if they're in your area. Look at different groups on LinkedIn. Go to different associations. Start about discussions. And again, I go back to the remodeling, but I think that's a great place to start, as far as, what can we do to revitalize an area? Maybe there's an area in your city that's being revitalized. Maybe they have a community group that holds meetings. That would be a great place to go, because if they are looking to revitalizing, then they're looking at remodeling. And guess what? They're looking for a loan to do that. So think outside the box of some of the things that you can do to go and attend, to meet with realtors, to go to different associations, go to your local chambers. When I first started with Dale Carnegie, I built my entire business by my first chamber meeting. And I just went in, I did a workshop on overcoming the fear of public speaking, and got the president of the Oregon Graduate Institute who attended, and they ended up doing my classes at the Oregon Graduate Institute, and it just all went from there. But it was from that one meeting that I did that I was able to build my whole business. Go and meet with companies, schools in your area. You don't have the students, but there's teachers. And so, think about the things that you can do to be able to get outside the box, to constantly be hunting and farming, and make a commitment to do this. Say, I could find potential clients or referral sources at the following events by reading these publications, maybe finding someone who's writing about something, attending these conferences, being involved in these activities. So these are things that you want to do to be able to stay after yourself to do what you need to do. Look at your marketing. What can you do to write for partners? Maybe writing on their blogs, writing articles for realtors, builders, financial planners, insurance agents, property managers, writing in trade publications, association newsletters. My neighbor is the attorney for the Metropolitan association that handles all of the different property managers. And so I go in and I do training for them. They get CE credit, but it's a great way for me to build my business, and it's good for them too. And so think of that as far as other associations that you maybe haven't thought about that nobody else is going to, and be able to make a commitment to invest. And this is between you and only you. It's not between me, but have a conversation with yourself and say, you know what, Ginger, you're right. I need to make a commitment to invest so many hours per week to raise my profile. And then you need to identify what actions you need to do and you're willing to follow up on. And it may be a combination of some of these things that you do every day or several times a week. And then of those actions that you've identified, what are you going to commit to doing to follow through within the next month? And then within the next 3 months, and then the next 6 months, and take it out. But make that commitment to invest to raise your profile, because that's really what it takes to be the standout. And what I want you to think about, for all of you, first of all, who are attending, congratulations for attending, because you have already taken the first step to saying, okay, you know what, Ginger, I want to stand out. And I want to be able to look for ways to build my business. And that's what you want to do. And then I want to remind you also, you have great partners. So Finance of America Wholesale, they're here to help. You know, they brought me in as a consultant to build education programs for them. We have a lot of marketing campaigns that we have designed. There are resources available, flyers available, there's training available. I've created their online university. We have FAMU resources. If you do not have a login to FAMU, or if you're not a client of FAMU, then I recommend go to their website. It's famwholesale.com. Find an account executive in your area and get set up with them, because they are truly committed to providing the resources to help you to build your education. So if you have any questions, type them in right now. I have hit you with a ton of information. And what I want to do is to have you think about where you want to start, and shoot me an email. So this is only for those of you who are on this webinar. So I'm putting my email up here. You're getting an email from me on, I apologize, you're going to hear me typing, and I cannot type at the same time that I am talking. So there's my email address. So here's my challenge to you today. Send me an email listing out what are the 3 things that you're going to do over the course of the next month to raise your profile. And when you do that, when my book with Jack Canfield comes out, and it's going to be released August 16th, I'll probably get printed copies by the end of the month. I will personally mail you an autographed copy of my book. So if you take the time to do that, shoot me an email, top 3 things you're going to do, then I'll send you that. And then keep in touch with me. Let me know what you're looking for, what we can help with, where your challenges are, because my goal is to be able to help you build your business. And so the links are up there. Did you all access the links? Can anyone get on there and try to do those downloads? I put a bunch up there. So let me know if they worked. If not, I'm going to send a follow-up email to you all tomorrow. It comes out, I think it'll come out sometime in the afternoon tomorrow. It comes to the system because it's automated. You know, I love that. Has anyone downloaded anything on there yet? Have you clicked on the links? Let me know. Yes, no. I'm going to wait for the email tomorrow. Have no idea. I'm not paying attention. I'm on my email now, Ginger, but hey, I'm giving you a hard time. Okay, I'm not seeing anyone responding, so I am not sure if you were able to access the links. They're in your chat box. Let me know if anyone tried, clicked on the link, didn't click on the link. You're in the middle of clicking on the link. Okay, it looks like some of you are, so that's okay. So, and a reminder email, shoot me, okay, so they are working, that's good. Shoot me an email, let me know your top 3 things that you are going to do to raise your profile, and then I look forward to seeing you on another webinar. So we're going to have webinars out in August. Look for emails, get registered for them, and let me know what you all would like to hear about too. What can we do to help you build your business? So I thank you all for attending, and I wish you great success. Let me know how I can help, and I wish you a great week. I am off to LA tomorrow, and then San Diego, and then Denver and Ohio, and across the country for a little while. So I thank you all for attending, and I'll see you on another webinar.